Welcome to the program. Today on Like Nobody's Business, the Chamber's Washington, D.C. fly-in. This promises to be the largest and most successful fly-in we have ever done here at the Chamber, where we take a delegation of more than 100 business and community leaders to Capitol Hill, where we advocate on behalf of the business community throughout the entire state. Today, we are focused on federal issues that affect Nevada, and I'm pleased to welcome our guests today. We have Mayor Carolyn Goodman of the City of Las Vegas. Thank you so much.
My honor.
Thank you. We also have David Swallow, who's the Chief Engineer and Technology Officer of RTC of Southern Nevada. David, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. These are very important times. The Chamber is advocating on behalf of the business community, Las Vegas. You know, Mayor Goodman, I'll start with you. What are some of the city's most important federal issues?
Well, without a doubt, it's all about yucca. I mean, we have transportation issues as well, but in specific, it's moving that nuclear radioactive waste across this country and to a repository here in Nevada. We've been fighting it for 20 years from City Hall, and actually we have gotten the 1,400 mayors once again signing a resolution, deactivate, repurpose, and do research, but don't move it. So I brought some props, but
okay. Let's see your props. Let's take a look at what you have, because I know this is important, and you've been advocating against this along with the other Mayor Goodman for many years.
In 1999, he said, "You're not bringing this filth through my city. I'm going to lie down on 95 and you won't come in." But of course, at that point, budgets were cut and so did the transportation.
Okay.
But this is something, you know, for those of us who were alive in the 50s, knowing the fallout from the test site, so many people were told often, if come watch the explosions and just dust off, take a shower and you'll be fine. Well, most of the people that lived east of the test site got some form of cancer. I mean, remarkably a lot. So there became an issue with what are we being told and what aren't we being told. And when the Department of Energy sent personnel to let us know at the city that they were going to be shipping various levels of radioactive material into Nevada to Yucca. Everybody, including myself, and I just was so alarmed. I said, "What route will you be coming? We're not at liberty to tell you. What times of day? How often? We are not at liberty to tell you." So having done research and putting my office fully on this back 8 years ago, we have several books as big as this one on the table filled with specific possible routes. And as you know, transportation infrastructure in the country is rated at a D- level as far as viability throughout the country by civil engineers. But my persuasion has been, and every time I've been back in Washington with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, is to show where the routes could travel, and do any of the mayors want this material with a faulty tunnel or bridge or rail or roadway having it come through their city. So it's been something that we have been adamantly opposed to and working on, at least through my tenure, every time I'm in Washington and meeting with the Department of Energy, Homeland Security, and the Cabinet Secretary of Transportation.
David, from your standpoint, from a transportation standpoint, the mayor brings up a very valid point about transportation, the roadways and freeways. What are your thoughts from the RTC?
Well, the same thing. You know, the nation's infrastructure has frankly seen underinvestment in recent years and in some cases fallen into disrepair. I think given the type of material we're talking about, very dangerous. Last thing you want is to have to worry about potholes or a bad bridge or something to that effect, like the mayor said. So I think that all needs to be considered as part of this national conversation.
This morning at our Eggs and Issues event, Congressman Horsford was talking about Yucca Mountain as well, and he was talking about the consent aspect of legislation and really working with other states who might possibly want it there. So do you see any validity to that?
New Mexico and Texas have been vocal. New Mexico already has storage. The issue there is, and through Cabinet Secretary Ernest Munoz, They have the pile of funds to pay for the storage, but as of yet, they have not paid any state any funds. And so I know there was a push here in Nevada, go ahead and take this filth and we'll get paid for it. Well, it hasn't happened. And we had one mayor from Connecticut who said he thought it would be a great idea. And I said, be our guest, take it all. But I think one of the issues that's occurred even recently was that earthquake not too far away of 7.2 magnitude.
That's right.
And when you look at what that does miles down, really can cause tremendous problems for this storage.
So Yucca Mountain is definitely something the Chamber will be advocating against when we go on our fly-in September 8th through the 13th, so that you can rest assured that that's top of our list. Another issue that's top of our list is the I-11. That's Interstate 11. That's something that the Chamber has advocated for several years, and I know we've made a lot of progress in Nevada. And it's important that the two largest metropolitan cities, or two of the largest metropolitan cities, have a connection with an interstate, but we currently don't, so that's why this is so important. David, from your standpoint, what's the status of I-11?
Well, thankfully, here in Nevada, we started the first 15 miles of I-11 here in Nevada. And part of that was thanks to the fuel revenue indexing program that the community supported, and we've been successfully executing since then. Not only that, but the federal partners have to be involved with a sustainable transportation funding mechanism. I think we're all concerned that we're hitting every handful of years, the transportation bill is expiring, and then there's all this new legislation, and it's hard to make long-term investments without that stability of funding that we look to the federal government for. We all recognize how important I-11 is for the future of between our two states, between Arizona and Nevada, but really enabling more of that interstate commerce that I think we all want to see.
Absolutely, and the Chamber's been working with the Arizona and Phoenix Chambers, so we're working very hard to try to help them to get the funding for the rest of that freeway, so it's very important for commerce here as well. All right, that does it for our first segment. Will you guys stay with me?
Sure.
Of course.
Okay, sounds good. When we come back, we'll continue with more with Mayor Carolyn Goodman and David Swallow right after this.
Life's journey isn't just about what happens. At Nevada State Bank, we believe it's about who it happens with. The people who are there for I Do and for Welcome Home. The people who are there for your growing business. And the ones who are there for a lifetime. For every moment of life's journey, the people of Nevada State Bank are here for you. Because it matters who you spend life's moments with. And it matters who you bank with. Nevada State Bank.
This is the story of two businesses. Andy made a lemonade stand and hoped people would come. Jill did too, but she chose a team to get the word out about her lemonade stand. Jill learned early that advertising with the right team gets the best results. At Cox Media, we do this every day, helping your business grow to meet its potential. With our marketing expertise, Cox Media is your partner for advertising success. Don't let your business get left behind. Let's grow your business together. Contact Cox Media today.
I'm Jim Pisanelli, partner and co-founder of Pisanelli Vice, and I referred Todd Vice to City National Bank.
Jim had a pre-existing relationship with the bank. When I began to discuss financial needs, principally in the sort of wealth management realm, Jim put me in contact with someone there that he already trusted. One of the wealth management executives came up from Los Angeles and put the package together for me, made recommendations, and we've been moving forward ever since then.
Remember Old Vegas where the customer was king? The Casablanca in Mesquite is just like Vegas used to be. Play over 40 of your favorite table games.
Play over 800 slot and video poker machines and get comps, free play, and cash back.
Get away and play 2 18-hole championship golf courses, or pamper yourself in our full-service salon and unwind in our world-class spa. Now this is my kind of getaway. Reserve your $99 golf or spa getaway today. It's just like Vegas used to be.
Welcome back to this edition of Like Nobody's Business. We are here on the program today with Mayor Carolyn Goodman and David Swallow with RTC. David, let's start this segment with you. In addition to I-11, we talked a little bit about that. What are some other transportation projects that we need to be aware of for Washington, D.C.? And talk to us a little bit about I-15.
Well, I-15 is a critical corridor for us here in Southern Nevada. I mean, it's literally the lifeblood of our tourism economy, bringing a number of visitors from, the majority of visitors coming from Southern California here to Southern Nevada. And so what we've seen on the Nevada side, we've done very well in reinvesting in I-15, trying to make sure we have everything we can in terms of the lane widths, the number of lanes, the capacity, and adding the technology improvements, because we can't just rely on building asphalt to create capacity. We're looking at how do we leverage technology to eke out as much as we can from it and help things smooth out better for our visitors so they have a really good experience. At the same time, enabling that critical interstate travel that I think we all recognize is important for our nation. So that being said, you know, the Nevada, along with California, Utah, and Arizona have formed the I-15 Mobility Alliance. They are looking at long-term, how do we make investments, strategic investments to improve the flow on I-15. And so we're RTC, of course, working with NDOT and the neighboring states to address the infrastructure concern and really get in front of this instead of being reactionary like we've seen across the border in the other states.
Yeah, it's good to be proactive, not so reactive. And I know, Mayor Goodman, you have a lot of concerns about this as well.
Well, you know, looking at it, sitting on that board and sitting along with you on the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, and then sitting in line watching the traffic, fortunately, going the opposite direction when we are traveling back and forth to California, it's gridlock. And you worry about the El Cajon Pass, you worry about an accident because people in 115-degree heat, what would happen where nothing's moving? How do they attend to a sick individual? But the most important thing is how do we bring our tourist base in here? And that, as David has just said, it's the heart of our tourist business and our economy.
And speaking of our tourism and our economy, I know McCarran Airport is another vital hub for us. What can we do to continue to leverage McCarran in our community, and how can we continue to increase both domestic and international tourism?
Well, I mean, part of it is as soon as visitors get here, McCarran is our front door. And so we want to make sure they have a great first impression. And then the great thing about McCarran is it's located so close to the heart of our economic center. I mean, literally within 2 miles, or even abutting to the Las Vegas Strip. The McCarran Airport's right there. But how do we make sure that visitors have a good experience getting between the airport and the Strip or downtown, that it's a nice seamless experience? And so I think what we're looking for, how do we not only enable more movement via the roadways, but how can we add higher capacity transit to connect the airport to the Strip and downtown?
And I think what we have is we have people coming in from abroad who want to get into business with us, and we always talk first and foremost about direct nonstop flights from a major city to us. And that's been so critical because we have a very diverse population. They come from so many different countries, and so that travel back and forth has really panned out. We have over 220 direct international flights per week. Our first carrier, I believe, is Canada, then Mexico, and Great Britain, fortunately, but we're always adding. I just noticed we added Israel as having direct flights, and over the summer we tend to pick up more direct flights. Very exciting.
I know you bring up Israel. A lot of times we've had some Israeli companies that have come and wanted to start businesses here, and the Chamber has been helping them. So the Chamber's really doing a lot to try to facilitate economic growth, working with the LVGEA and GoEd and so forth. So that's something we're doing as well.
Well, and they have hooked up with our International Technology Center, specifically Japan and Israel, as we're working to share with communities and connect everybody together.
Yeah, and to add on top of that, I mean, we've worked with a number of startups, including those from Israel. Waycare is a perfect example of one that was a huge success for us here locally, not just bringing the company here to try out the technology they're presenting to us, but realizing true benefit from it in reducing the number of crashes and reducing speeds, in being able to respond to incidents when they occur a lot faster than we could historically. They're, again, using the technology that's being developed around the world and showcasing it here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
And Tina Quigley, who's the head, as you know, of the RTC, she and then the head of our IT program at the city took a trip with the head of our economic and urban development program and went to Israel, and that immediately became a bonding that's been so beneficial. And just a couple of weeks ago, I saw a nice little blue cap that sits on light poles that you can connect probably 21 homes to the internet. And it's a wonderful, wonderful resource for us. Israel's been tremendous.
That's just great. And I know technology plays such a vital role for us here in Las Vegas and Nevada, the entire state. So, okay, Mayor, switching gears again, the U.S. Conference of Mayors is something that's near and dear to your heart.
Without question.
Talk to us about that and why is it so important for Las Vegas and Nevada?
Government really is the people, especially in this country. And the mayors are the closest to the ground, to the people, to get the information up the chain to go to our representatives throughout the state, but of course in Washington. And the U.S. Conference of Mayors is a body of about 1,400 mayors of cities of 30,000 or more, and has seminars that we meet every year in January in the Capitol. And then we have a second, and we've hosted them twice in Las Vegas. In 2013 and I think 2008 before that, because we share problems, and whatever the problems are during the economy, the recession, issues with the homeless, all mayors seem to share infrastructure issues, and where it's always about money. Where are we going to get the money? So many people have so many wonderful ideas, but it always boils down to, how did you pay for it? Where's the money coming from? And so the U.S. Conference of Mayors has been a huge resource for us, so we don't trip on the same stick that's sticking out of the ground. We learn from each other, we share, and we do a lot of traveling.
And I know recently the U.S. Conference of Mayors issued a resolution about Yucca. Back to that for a second. So
every year that I've been in, they have signed unanimously, except for these two, the Connecticut guy and the Texas one, two mayors, they've unanimously supported deactivate, repurpose, do research, don't ship, and especially in this infrastructure.
Are there any other issues you'd like for the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce to carry forward on our trip to D.C. in September?
Oh, goodness, you know, I think there's
such
an issue. It is. If I had to pick a couple of things, it is the health care, and we see really how that does affect so many people who can't afford the health care, and us with a brand new medical school and a burgeoning medical district. Medicaid is set by the state, and so as the Chamber's back talking to our representatives, it's to get them on board with making sure the Medicaid is provided, and that, in fact, too, the Medicaid reimbursement rate to physicians is as strong as it is in surrounding states, because we bleed doctors. We lose doctors to these states, and they have to live.
David, what are your final thoughts on that?
Well, I think for us, transportation is key to everyone's daily life. It's part of the quality of life, and if it's good, and if it's not, it can be real challenging. Luckily in Nevada was ranked by U.S. News & World Report as the #1 state in terms of transportation in the United States. And that's good. I think it says a lot about us. At the same time, you know, we need to look at longer term sustainable funding for these infrastructure projects, but then beyond that, getting away from what we used to do in the past is we're very proactive about incorporating new technology, new innovations into what we do. And so we need some flexibility at the federal level to allow us to do pilot projects where we can learn and we can show success with these and then scale them up. At the same time, having that flexibility to kind of say, you know, this isn't working quite right, let's not get stuck in this paradigm, let's switch gears and move to a different direction. So I think that's really important for our federal legislators to kind of enable that.
Okay, that's all we have time for this edition. David Swallow with RTC, thank you. Mayor Carolyn, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being on the show today. All right, we appreciate it. Up next, we'll tell you about an unprecedented partnership with one of Nevada's power players. Stay tuned to see who it is right after this.
Life's journey isn't just about what happens. At Nevada State Bank, we believe it's about who it happens with. The people who are there for I do and for welcome home. The people who are there for your growing business. And the ones who are there for a lifetime. For every moment of life's journey, the people of Nevada State Bank are here for you. Because it matters who you spend life's moments with. And it matters who you bank with. Nevada State Bank.
Smart City is based coast to coast. We currently have about 39 locations, from convention centers to arenas, stadiums, hotels, public venues. We were just awarded the Entertainment and Sports Arena recently in Washington, D.C. We have a network operations center based out in our Las Vegas headquarters that are constantly monitoring all our centers 24/7.
Welcome back to this edition of Like Nobody's Business. We are here today at the headquarters of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance with President and CEO Jonas Peterson. Jonas, thanks for being here.
Hey, Mary Beth, thanks for having me.
Well, you are quite welcome. We are forming, the LVGEA and the Las Vegas Chamber are forming an unprecedented partnership. Why should that matter to not only our members, but to the residents of the entire state?
Yeah, I mean, first, thank you for having me on the show. We are so excited about this partnership. If you are a community leader, you're a business leader, you want to be on this trip. This is it, right? LVGA, Metro Chamber, teaming up, storming Capitol Hill together, speaking with one voice for the community. It's really exciting.
And it's exciting for us, it's exciting for all of our guests and members who will be going with both of our organizations on the trip to DC. Why is it important for residents of the whole state economically and for the business community?
So the federal government is a massive player when it comes to economic development. This impacts all of us. Let me give you a few examples, right? Department of Transportation, funding for I-11, connecting the two largest metropolitan areas in the country. How about the Small Business Administration and loan programs that help our small businesses become large businesses? Department of Labor, workforce programs, BLM weighing in on all that public land that surrounds the metro area. Hopefully we can get more of a transition for private uses. The list goes on and on. The federal government is a big player for economic development. We need to make sure they know exactly what the business community thinks on all those issues and more.
Another reason we're teaming up, our two organizations, is that it's important for us to have one united voice. We'll be talking about all the issues you just mentioned. And also, why is it important then for such a large group to go and have our voices be heard in DC?
Yeah, it makes that voice so much louder. Our congressional leaders have asked for this, right? I'm excited to deliver it with your help. Together through this partnership, we can speak with one voice. And it'll be really clear where the business community stands on those issues. There's power in numbers, and we're bringing the numbers.
That's true. We're excited to be partnering with you. We've got a lot of great events on the Washington, D.C. fly-in. We have a lot of policy briefings. We have meetings with the entire Nevada delegation. Is there any one thing in particular, or what is the one thing in particular that the LVGEA is most focused on to speak with our Nevada delegation about?
Yeah, so there's so many issues that it's hard to pick one.
It is.
But let me throw this out there. If you, yes, we're gonna talk policy, and we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts of that. But if you just want to come for one thing, how about the Nevada State Dinner, right? Celebration of all things Nevada, a chance to really celebrate our state and have some high-profile networking along the way.
Absolutely. It's a black tie event.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The great thing about the DC fly-in is that when we go, we learn a lot. We get to network with other business leaders in the community, and we get to have a lot of fun too.
Yeah, this is going to be a great time. Again, we could not be more excited about the partnership. And if you are interested in politics, you're interested in the future of our region, you need to be there.
Absolutely. You know, another project that the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce is very excited to be partnering with you on is Workforce Blueprint 2.0. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your project and why it's so important.
Yeah, the partnership is growing. We appreciate all the support on the blueprint. This is a big deal, right? This is mapping out our workforce needs for the next 5 years. So picture a list of in-demand occupations where we can quantify the skill sets, the occupations in demand to support our economy. So we can tell elected leaders, we can tell our friends in higher education, K through 12, exactly what our needs are to support the economy. Not guessing, narrowing it down to specific occupations and skill sets, and then creating a map, really a blueprint for how we get there and how we achieve those goals.
Yeah, that's the name. That is so important, that this research, we don't just do the research and then put it in a nice book on the shelf. It's something that we plan to use as a roadmap and to actually have some viable plans and solutions.
Yeah, it's going to have a long lifespan, and I really do think this is the starting point. Then we got to take that blueprint and use it, right? Speak with one voice on where we need to go from a workforce perspective. And make sure our elected leaders know and that we're supporting that direction.
And we have some other partners as well. Besides LVGEA and the Chamber, we have Workforce Connections.
Workforce Connections, doing great things. And I love working with that team. They're always looking to innovate. And yeah, together, Metro Chamber, Workforce Connections, LVGEA, all partnering on the blueprint that should be coming out in a couple months.
And you know what, Jonas? This partnership is just the beginning. There's a lot more that we can do together on behalf of Southern Nevada for sure, and the entire state. So on behalf of the Chamber, we look forward to working with you, and thanks for being such a great partner.
Oh, the other way around. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for having me on. So many exciting things happening and more to come.
All right, and you'll be back on the show?
Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
All right.
Jonas Peterson, President and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. All right, coming up next, we'll take you to a best kept secret and a President's Club member of the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce right after this. I'm Mary Beth Seawald with the Las Vegas Metro Chamber of Commerce. As you can see, we are on the golf course at the Casablanca Resort and Casino. Lauren, tell us all about this golf course.
Absolutely. This is one of the 11 world-class championship golf courses here in Mesquite. 18 holes of pristine green. You can also enjoy their $99 play and stay package, perfect for your next getaway. Come practice your best golf swing like nobody's business. And if you're doing business like nobody's business and you want to be featured on our TV show, reach out to me at LikeNobody'sBusiness@lvchamber.com.
Thank you for watching this edition of Like Nobody's Business, and be sure to remember these upcoming Chamber events. Cocktails and Conversations featuring County Commissioner Michael Naft at the National Atomic Testing Museum, and that's on August 6th. Customer Service Excellence Recognition Quarter 3 ceremony at the Stratosphere Hotel Observation Deck on August 21st. Mac Night Out at the JW Marriott Las Vegas on August 8th. And Vegas Young Professionals White Hot Fusion Mixer at Apex Social Club on August 22nd. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Like Nobody's Business. I'd like to give a special thank you to our presenting sponsor, Nevada State Bank, our location sponsor, Mesquite Gaming, and our guest today, Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman and David Swallow with RTC. On behalf of the Las Vegas Metro Chamber of Commerce, thank you for watching. I'm Mary Beth Seawald.